Hi, in this video, we're going to talk all about the basic strategies for ADHD and productivity. We're going to go you through all the basics so you can start being more productive right away. Number one, we need to accept ourselves. Acceptance is key. We need to accept that we need to use strategies, and that's perfectly fine. We need to accept that there's different strategies that are going to work for us that might not look the same for other people, and that we might need to switch around our strategies often to keep them kind of creating the dopamine and what we need. So we need to approach ourselves with self-love, be non-judgmental, understand that we have different strengths and we need different resources and assistance and have different needs, and that's perfectly okay. And it's okay to need strategies. It's okay if strategies work for a couple weeks or a couple days and then they don't work for a couple days. That's all okay. There's different strategy types that we will go over. So building our thrive spaces, emotional regulation and sensory sensitivity and stimulation. Don't worry, later modules will cover it. All good. Productivity strategies, which we'll go through a little bit today, and learning how to activate our dopamine button. So strategies in terms of our thrive space, it's something like finding exactly what environments work for us, figuring out what we need in those environments, if we need to change up environments, where and when do we work best. And also accountability buddies or body doubling buddies can be super, super helpful. Some emotional regulation strategies include mindfulness, 3 steps to calm, which we'll go over, no worries. Awareness of our stimulation battery, so important. Sensory strategies, emotional regulation strategies, like somatic stuff. In terms of productivity strategies, we can go through externalization. So that just means allowing ourselves not to count fully on ourselves to be productive. So allowing ourselves to externalize everything. So like use sticky notes, use notes on our phone, use calendars. We can also speak out loud what we're trying to go through. So going through our head might be really hard. So being like, okay, what do I need out loud? What do I need to accomplish this task? Like even if it's getting out the door. So it's like, okay, I need phone, wallet, keys. Where are those? And just kind of talking yourself through it. And it's totally fine. And often we quite need that. And having visual reminders, super helpful. Using SMART goals, amazingly helpful. Whiteboards, habit tracking, schedules, all those kind of things. Gamification and rewards and kind of alerting stimuli help us with the dopamine button. And we'll go through these in more detail in a minute. So mindfulness is really good for ADHDers. It doesn't mean that we have to meditate for a half an hour every day or anything like that, although that's always good for us. It's always good for emotional regulation and nervous system regulation, but there's ways to just be mindful in life that we'll go over, and learning how to be in the present moment and calm our nervous systems down through breathing, visualization, that kind of thing. One thing with ADHDers, we know we don't have the same amount of dopamine as neurotypicals, so we need to create our own dopamine. So we have to learn how to get ourselves excited for things. So especially stuff that we're not excited for, we don't have enough dopamine to want to do it again. So what can we do? We can exercise, we can turn things into a game. That's one of the best things. Some friendly competition is great. We can reward ourselves. We can have a cold drink or splash ourselves with cold water, super good. We can use movement, so we can stretch, we can stand up, we can wiggle, we can fidget, we can eat crunchy snacks, especially like healthy, like carrots and stuff. We can have coffee, we can have tea. Um, we don't want to always rely on sugar, of course, but sometimes if we need that extra dopamine, and sugar is something that kind of lights up our day, and we need to do a task we really don't want to do, sometimes that is a good reward or a good little dopamine booster. Um, so rewards and gamification is probably one of the best ways to be productive for ADHDers. So finding ways to make things into more fun, essentially. So kind of creating a competition between your family members, trying to get like a point system going to who's going to do the most chores this week, or just having kind of fun visual schedules on the fridge for people with their tasks. That can be super helpful. So more productivity strategies in general are kind of creating deadlines, and deadlines for even smaller tasks. So breaking things down and then creating deadlines for all of those little things that we need to do, because that also helps with our time blindness, and figure out, okay, like what do I actually need to accomplish? Putting in extra time to sort that out, and to sort out how to prioritize stuff, because organizing, sequencing, planning is all difficult for us. So we need to add in that extra time to figure out what we need to prioritize, and figure out what actually we need to do today to get that thing that we really want to do done. Because if we don't do that, our side quests can become the main quest, and then we're just on a tangent for the rest of the day. Routines, kind of schedules, daily, weekly agendas, figuring out your major, minor tasks for the day, and figuring that out is good, either in a journal, or we have some worksheets too. So just figuring out like what works for you, and usually the more visual, the better. Like out of sight, out of mind with us often with the object permanent stuff. So just figuring out how to help ourselves as much as possible with external strategies. Some things will work, some things won't. Some things will work for a week and then they won't again. So just figuring out what it is, and understanding that just because a strategy doesn't work all the time does not mean that it's a bad strategy. It just means that you need to rotate it. It's just not working right now. You can come back to it, but it does not mean that you should never use it again, because it might actually be super helpful next week or even the next day. So what strategies do you use already? So reflect and take a minute to say, okay, what strategies do I use? What have I used in the past? Are there any I should re-implement? Are there any that just really don't work for me and I shouldn't try to bother? Are there some that maybe work a couple days and then don't? And is there a way to make it more consistent for us to work? Oh, that's an alarm to get ready for something. So alarms, very good. They let me know when I need to get ready to go do something. They can also be used in terms of, okay, I'm only going to work for like a certain amount of time. You can put on like a timer or an alarm and kind of trick yourself and be like, okay, I only have to do 15 minutes. And so just reflect, see what works, what doesn't. Acceptance, again, huge. So just accept yourself, be kind to yourself. It's okay that you need strategies. It's okay that we're consistently inconsistent. So it's all good. Things are hard, but when we can pick up the strategies and we can do them, then let's celebrate those moments. Thanks for listening, and have a great rest of your day.